Hi everybody, my name is Derick Hips and I am the Director of Animal Care here at the new Canaan Nature Center. My job includes taking care of, you guessed it, animals. I'm going to be talking about some of the animals that we have here. We have birds of prey, we have mammals, we have reptiles, we have amphibians, we have insects. All those things make up an ecosystem. Here at the Nature Center, we have all sorts of different types of ecosystems. We have forests, we have field, we have streams, we have ponds. So even just coming to the Nature Center or just walking out in your backyard, because you have an ecosystem right in your backyard. So that's the big topic I'll be talking about today. So ecosystems and the food chain that runs it. If there were no food chains, there would be no ecosystem. So if there are no plants, no ecosystem. If there are no animals, no ecosystem. We can even go to the abiotic factors. So talking about water, talking about rocks, sand, that type of thing. If those things didn't exist, we wouldn't have an ecosystem. So everything kind of depends on each other in that ecosystem. And if you're missing one thing, it just falls apart. So today we actually have a food chain, an example of one. I'm going to be kind of showing some live animals. I'll talk about their part in an ecosystem, where you can find them. I did want to point out a visual. This is what I use as far as whose job is what in our ecosystems. You'll see here, it says sample food chains, and then you'll see on the left the trophic levels. Trophic levels are just basically the levels of the food chains. Primary producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, and quaternary consumer. I'm going to focus on the grassland biome that it says right there, because that's what we'll be seeing today, is what lives in the fields and forests. So kind of focusing on the terrestrial animals, if you will. You can see here it starts off with grass. So those primary producers, those are the plants. They're getting that energy from the sun. They're taking that energy from the sun and they're giving it to those animals that need it. So when the animal eats the plant, it carries on that energy and then it passes on to the next animal that eats it. And it keeps going all the way down to that quaternary consumer. So you can see it's not just in grassland, it's not just in the forest. There are ecosystems everywhere. There are pond ecosystems, oceans, streams, as I said. So yeah, so it's all different. So in each ecosystem, you'll have different food chains. Like dragonfly larvae will not be found in a field, right? It has to be in the water. And phytoplankton, for example, in the ocean, same thing. So that's why it just depends on where you are, what type of ecosystem you're talking about, because you're going to find different things in that food chain. So yeah, so let's walk over here. I'm going to start our food chain here. Right here, and you're like, what? There's a sweet potato there. There's a carrot there. There's some hay. Kind of where it starts, right? But you'll see potatoes. There are some plants that have roots that animals will enjoy. We'll dig and try to eat those root vegetables too. What I'm looking at here, we have Timothy hay, carrot, sweet potato. That's gonna fuel the food chain that we're talking about today. If we didn't have these food items, the other animals would not be able to get that energy, right? So we'll move on over here. I'm looking for a primary consumer. Looking for an animal that's eating some plants. This could also be a form of a decomposer as well. Let's see. These guys like to... Oh, there we go. So what I just did there, that little egg cart in there, I flipped it over. You'd find a rock or a log. You flip those over, and what looks like nothing when you first look at it becomes something, right? You open it up, you look deeper. There are so many living things. These guys are representing the insects. All right, so these are dubia cockroaches. We do have cockroaches here in Fairfield, Connecticut. This type of cockroach that we're looking at, though, is not a native species. Dubia cockroaches, they're more found in South America, but we use them here for a food source for our reptile friends. So there's a big Savannah monitor lizard that loves to eat these guys. So yeah, so they're a food source. So these guys are munching on the sweet potato, the carrot, maybe a little grass if they can find some. And they're taking that energy and passing it on to the next animal. They're doing a really important job. And their other important job too is they're decomposing stuff. These guys, when they're chewing down on, they're not just eating carrots and yams and sweet potatoes. They're also eating logs. They're eating leaves. They're turning those things that are laying on the ground that we kind of see as messy, they're turning it into soil so we can have other plants so we can eat, but so that other animals can eat too. Those animals, the ecosystem relies on decomposers. It relies on primary consumers. It relies on a lot of things. Everything has its place, even cockroaches. I'll put these guys back. And I like to just note too, whenever I go into any sort of ecosystem, I like to flip the things back over and leave them as I found them. I don't know if you ever heard of it before, but I practice leave no trace. Leave no trace is leaving things as you found them. Alright, see you later, cockroaches. Alright, so those are our representative decomposers. Could be considered a primary consumer. They're eating the vegetables and the fruits and the plants. And now something else is going to eat them. Not these guys, though. This is another example of primary consumer. Because these guys are eating the grass. They're eating the sweet potatoes. They're eating the plants that are growing in the fields and forests. And these crickets, I feed these to a lot of reptiles and amphibians. So you're talking about lizards, frogs. Closer look at these guys here. They move pretty fast. Alright. Primary consumer. Let's go to this guy. What do we have here? Hey, Oscar. So Oscar, believe it or not, if you think back with that chart, so you got your levels here. So primary producer, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, ordinary. Which one do you think Oscar here would fit in? So what is he eating? Let's focus on that. So does Oscar eat bugs? I don't think so. So I think he still fits in the primary consumer. So we're still in the primary consumer because he's eating the grass. He's eating those vegetables out in the forest. So he's gonna watch out for those tertiary and quaternary. So tertiary could be like a snake. Quaternary could be a hawk, right? Or an owl. Oscar, he's still representing the primary consumer. Alright, who do we have here? And you're like, what? That animal's smaller than the other animal. It's not all about size, it's about what they eat. So I'm gonna put this guy right here. Secondary consumer. So this little guy right here, he eats bugs. This is Ricky. He's our Cuban tree frog. So like I said, he's representing the secondary consumers because they're now eating an animal. They're eating those insects. Some of those crickets that I just showed you earlier, that's what he would be eating. That would be his meal. So he takes that energy from that cricket, that the cricket got the energy from the sweet potato or the grass or the carrot, whatever they're eating, right? So it kind of moves through that food chain. So there you are, it's the Cuban tree frog. Cuban tree frogs are not native to Connecticut. These guys could become an invasive species. So you gotta be careful. You never wanna let an animal go if it's not from this area. These guys would really make it hard for the native species that are living here, like the gray tree frog. So my friends, so we moved from primary to secondary, tertiary. So snake, this is Nico. Nico's our ball python. He could eat the rabbit, he could eat the frog. He's taking that energy that was passed from those vegetables, from those fruits, to the primary consumer. Okay, up to the secondary, all the way up to him, it's the tertiary. And when he eats, you can actually see the food item will go all the way through his body. It could be a rat, could be a mouse, right? So all the way through. He's gonna absorb all the nutrients. This whole thing right here is a food chain. Starting with fruits and vegetables, going to the cockroaches, going to the crickets, going to the rabbit, and the little frog. Go past the snake again. And we're gonna go see a quaternary consumer. You see here? I'm gonna go in. Everybody say hi to Kira. So Kira is a red-tailed hawk. Yeah, they're at the top of the food chain. They're looking for mice. They're looking for rabbits. They can even eat frogs. They can basically eat anything that they see moving, that they know that can fill their belly, that can give them energy, they will eat. It is tough to be an animal out in the wild. You can actually see behind her, there's a wetland back there. If she was out hunting, that wetland area would be a great place for her. There are mice in there, there are frogs in there. But why is Kira here? She actually had a wing injury. She did get hit by a car, unfortunately, and her wing did have to get amputated. Now it's neat because now we can come here and see her and we can learn about her and learn about the ecosystems and learn about the food chains. And you can see it up close, which is really cool. We can actually see what she was eating. She was eating chicks, little baby chickens. I know it's sad, but it is part of the food chain. As we said, they need those animals. They depend on those animals to be able to get their energy and to be able to reproduce. That's what it's all about, is to keep that cycle going. So that's it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. So we walked through that food chain. We got to see the different animals. We can just connect that, and it keeps going. It keeps going and it keeps going. The more diverse that the ecosystems are, the more diverse the plants are, the healthier that ecosystem is going to be. The more diverse the animals are in a given area, the more healthy that ecosystem is going to be as well. So thank you, friends. Thanks for joining us. If you ever want to come and see the ecosystems here at the Nature Center, it's a great time. Yeah, it's just a great place to come and enjoy. And you can actually see other animals like Kira. If you really liked seeing Kira in this video, come and check it out. We do have other birds of prey like a bald eagle. We have a red-shouldered hawk. So come on over, free of charge. Come with your family, come enjoy. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.